the roars and the adrenaline, me looking at him with his gloves on, ready. And I think we're going to meet in middle of the ring, and I think there's going to be fireworks straight away. I think it's going to, like I said, it's going to be like, a big scrap in a telephone booth. Basically, it's going to be all action from the bell.
How would it compare winning this fight to? How does this fight compare to your Golovkins, your Spencers, Crawfords?
I think it's up there. I think it's definitely up there. I think that there's going to be a lot of attention in the build-up for this fight. A lot of people, because it's one of them where people really have got us 50-50. Some say me, some say him, and I think that's going to obviously build to be a big, exciting. Everyone's going to be talking about. Everyone's going to be excited to see who the winner is, and I'm just so excited that I've finally made it happen, and it's across the line, and I can concentrate now on Amir Khan turning up on the 19th of February and doing what I need to do in that fight.
What do you make of what he said in the press conference, saying that he's dropping down levels to fight you?
He's deluded. He gets these backslappers what are building him up, thinking that he's one day a boxer, next minute he's on television, celebrity style, and if that's what he's into, that's what he's into. You know what I mean? But he never wanted this fight. He only took this fight because nobody wants to see him in America. He's blagged everyone for all this time, and this is the fight that he's been backed at corner where he has to take this fight. There's no other fight, money-wise and exciting-wise, as me and him, which should have happened many months ago. But we've finally got it done now, and the world's going to see me and him lock horns 19th of February.
Does he irritate you?
It does irritate me. He's giving no respect. He's giving no respect for many years. He's always, at one stage he didn't even know what my name was, which he did know. It's not about him what just goes through me. You know what I mean? I'm a real kid. And I just can't wait to just get my hands on him. Basically, I can't wait to just chuck some bombs at him, chocolate brownies.
Cal, you've had some major injuries over the past couple of years, especially over to the cheekbones. What reassurances can you give to the fans and people that are going to be watching this fight that you're durable, you're going to be able to last that fight, and it's going to be entertaining whilst it lasts?
Of course it is. I've had X-rays. I don't even think about my eyes. It's stronger than they would have been. We haven't been breaking now that the metal and the bones grown around and over that. So, like I said, I'm like Terminator. I'm made of steel, Sheffield steel. And I've got. I don't even enter my head anymore. Don't enter my head. I'll be fit. I'll be ready. I'll be strong, accurate, power, timing. It's all going to be there for the night. And I'm looking forward to the build. I'm looking forward to the training camp, and then I'm looking forward to looking at him on the canvas on the deck and saying, "Amir, I told you so, mate." So.
Is this going to be at 147?
His fight's at 149. There's no title on the line. I even you can imagine from where I was coming from. They don't even. Why even bring it down to 149? We're both 35. What's the point of killing? He knows that everyone knows who stood here and in boxing how much it affects me going down to them low weights. He's trying to do everything. If I were that easy, it steps down for him. Why not make this fight at 154 or an higher weight? He's obviously worried. He's obviously worried about it, because he knows that I'm a dangerous man.
Your last fight against Terence Crawford, what do you make of Crawford being Amir Khan's sparring partner this time around?
It is what it is. Terence can't fight for him. His trainers can't fight for him. He has to fight on himself. They're all going to leave him in that ring. It's just going to be me and him. So he can be trained off whoever he wants to get trained off. At the end of the day, it's going to be me and him, and that's all what we need.
Cal, what do you make of the Crawford versus Porter fight?
Yeah, we're obviously a fight. I'm excited about being in with both of them, winning world title of Porter, getting beat by Crawford, and seeing how they fought against each other. But I think you've got to say that Crawford, he's number one pound for pound now. Nobody's done that to Porter. Nobody's knocked Porter out and stopped him like that. But he's like his dad said. He said he run underprepared. That's he said. What lost you the fight? He said underprepared. That's what they come out with. But listen, at the end of the day, he's one hell of a fighter. They're both one hell of a fighters, and the better man won on the night. And it was a great fight.
So what do you make of Porter retiring after the fight? Do you think it's you know, a good thing for him to do at this stage of his career?
Yeah, I think so. You know, there's nothing really else for him to prove. You know, he's beating with the best. Well, Alim, you know, has had Thurman. He's beating with Brook. He's beating Braun. He's beating with the top fighters out there. I don't think there's much more for him to do. So before he starts, you know, the sport you can legally get killed in. I think before you go on too much, I think it's probably best for him to retire. Yeah.
You've been in there with Spence and obviously Crawford. Who's the best fighter out of those two? Who's the king of the welterweights, do you think?
I think after seeing their fight, Porter and Crawford, I think you've got to lean towards Crawford now. You know, but styles make fights. Obviously, Spence is a natural southpaw. You know. Yeah, still be very interested. Everyone is still tuning in, but I think just with the way he dealt with Porter, I think you have to start leaning towards Crawford, just because of Spencer's car crash. He had a problem with his retina in his eyes. I think you have to start leaning towards Crawford when you're in that fight.
Right, and who's the biggest puncher out of Spence and Crawford? You've been in there with both.
I'd say Spence.
Spence?
Yeah. Suspense.
Kel, you've had this decision here to come back to the Ingle gym and go with Dominic Ingle for this fight. Could you talk to us a bit about that?
You know, I've always been down at Ingle's. The only reason why, you know, I wasn't with him for the Crawford fight because he was worried about getting locked out at, you know, England basically, you know, because of the restrictions with the COVID and being away from his family and not being able to get back and different things. But you know, we never fell out. You know, it's just obviously things have come back to our normality, and he's obviously gonna be in this fight with me all the way through. Because like I said, he's had me since I was a little puppy, a 9-year-old, and this fight means a lot, means everything to him as well. Because wherever he goes, he gets asked the same question: when's Brook fighting Khan? So now we've got the fight, and we're both going to enjoy this training camp and doing the job on our friend Amir.
What do you remember from the sparring sessions you were talking about in the press conference?
Sorry?
What do you remember from the sparring sessions between you and Khan?
I can remember him being absolutely very fast for the first round. But obviously, you know, this is the sport I do, and timing beats speed, and obviously getting into my rhythm. You know, don't get me wrong, with 15, the sparring had to come to a stop, you know, because the coaches, you know, could see that Eagle could see that his competitiveness, that eager we were, you know. But like I said, he said that he schooled me. I've never been schooled ever in my entire life, and I know what he knows, and I know what happened in that spar. He knows what were happening after a minute and a half through the first round, and then from then on, it rolled me.
Kelly called you a blob.
Blob, I don't know. Am I a blob? Am I a blob? I don't know. I don't think I'm a blob, but at the end of the day, we've got 12 weeks. Let's see if I'm a blob on 19th of February.
Well, obviously the focus is on Khan, but recently Eddie Hearn made a comment that he wants the winner to face Conor Benn. What's your thoughts on that?
You know, Conor Benn's an up-and-coming fighter. You know, he's making loud noise at the minute, innit? So, you know, who knows? You know, I don't like Conor is never one of that fight. You know, I've never shied away from any fight. So when I've dealt with him, we'll sit back and see what his next moves are.
So there is more of Kell Brook after this fight, rather than you win from Khan.
Yeah, you know, listen, I'm still beating these young 20-odd-year-olds in the gym. I'm still doing what I've always done. You know, Crawford, what, a year younger than me, and he's saying he's pound for pound. It's, you know, at the end of the day, it's just a number. You know, I'm 35. You know, I've not been in no hard fights. You know, I might have had my eyes gone, but I've never been in. You know, in fight after fight going hard 12 rounds. You know, I've not really got a mark on me really, so I've not been through hell. You know, in big fights.
Kel, how much of a testament is it to you guys that the older generation that these fights are still pay-per-views? Massive hype behind this fight. When you look at the current generation, we're struggling to find that one fighter who possibly is that big pay-per-view star, someone who can go to America and headline. How much of a testament is it to that generation of yourself and Amir's and Joshua's and influence?
It's, you know, I just like to, I hope I'm up there, I will lead the way, you know, and the younger fighters, you know, see what we've done, see how we've done it, and obviously try and imitate what we do. You know, this fight's a big pay-per-view fight, you know, with two massive names in the sport. You know, I think outside AJ Fury, you know, you can't really deny this fight is the biggest fight out there in British boxing. we finally got it, and I'm just really excited. You know, it's gonna be there's gonna be fireworks. Honestly, we know there's gonna be fireworks. There's a lot of emotion. There's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of everything involved in this fight. So I just can't wait to get in there and to give the fans what they've been wanting for years.
Cheers, Cal.
Just one more, Cal. What's your thoughts on the fight over the weekend? Teofimo Lopez obviously losing all the belts. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, no, I did not see that coming. You know, with me, what said Lopez had beat Lomachenko, and nobody gave any chance. But I could not believe it that he'd lost, you know, to him. But his dad did. What a stupid thing his dad would tell him to go out and just to go out and just look how he was going off from round one. He got knocked down, and then his dad saying to him, go out and do it again. Like, completely wrong, you know, completely wrong tactics in that fight. But both amazing fighters. But you know, I put Lopez up. Look at him, he's an unbelievable fighter. I was so shocked that, you know, he got the loss at the weekend.
Right. So do you think it was completely the wrong tactics? Do you think he fought with too much emotion?
Too much emotion, you know. I think they got too much emotion. He went in there and he was swinging for the houses. You know, he was really going to take his head off, and it should have. When you go for the knockout, you don't really get the knockout. You know, you don't really get it. You know, sometimes you do, but like I say, if you box and stick to the game plan, what the coaches and what you come up with, it comes.